Welcome to Leading Leaders Podcast, 5-minute videos, 5 days a week. I remember having a conversation with a fellow one day and I said, so how well do you think your team likes you? And he looked at me with kind of a puzzled look and then he said very clearly, I don't care if they like me or not, as long as they do what I tell them to. Think about that for a second. I don't care if they like me or not, as long as they do what I tell them to. Subscribe now for our extensive video library of leadership lessons promoting faith, family, and freedom. I'm J. Loren Norris with Leading Leaders Podcast. I think it's true there are a lot of leaders out there who, well, really they're not concerned as to whether or not you like them or whether or not you're deeply invested in them. All they know is they expect you to follow the instructions that you're given. Without question, without thought, just do what you're told to do. Or as the old military phrase says, when I tell you to jump, you don't question that unless the question is how high. All you need to do is follow the instructions you're given. That's it. But I do find that it's curious when you look at the world of sales and service, whether you're selling a product or selling a service, if there's some kind of reaction or transaction that takes place between a buyer and a seller, that the seller has a great desire to create a raving fan. Even drug dealers, and I watch a lot of documentaries, and one of those series that I watch regularly is called Dope. Great, awesome title, but it's about drug dealers in various cities and how the economic and social structures have changed in different cities because of the Mexican drug cartels or because of the laws that have been changed in how drugs are done. But all of them seem to have this one common theme, and that is, as a dealer, my job is to create raving fans. They all have brands, logos, designs, either on the packaging, the color of baggie that they put their stuff in, or something stamped into the top of their brick of whatever, so that whoever buys it, uses it, takes it, knows that came from this dealer. Not because they want the police or anybody else to find them, but because they know that if people take their drugs and they enjoy them, they're coming back to the same place. Why? Because it's risky. It's risky to just buy drugs off anybody because you don't know whether they're going to kill you or get you high. Ironically, though, one of the marks of a raving fan in the world of drug dealers is if there's an OD on your brand. Because for whatever bizarre reason, the thought behind it is, if I can sell the drug that people OD on and it's so good that some people OD on it, other people think that must be good stuff. Which means, since I'm a pro, I've been taking this drug for a long time, I'm not going to OD on it. That's for amateurs. But it must be good stuff if you can actually OD on it. Obviously, it's a flawed theory because it could be laced with any kind of deadly poison and just killing people. But there's something in the world of drug addicts that says if people are ODing on it, it must be good. That's what I want to get my hands on. And, well, that's a brand. And so if you are a drug dealer and you want to create raving fans, you just have a good product that gets good results. You sell something at the right price that gets people high. You deliver a service to your customer at a fair price that gets great results, and a good product or service and good results, and bam, you got raving fans. Of course, there's a little more to it than that, but generally speaking, that's the concept. Sell a good product, get good results, get raving fans. How does that work in leadership, though? If you're leading a team or you're leading other leaders, how do you know that the product that you've delivered is getting good results? Is it behavior in the team? Is it because people have a sense of hope for the future that they're going to be able to do something greater than they do today? Is it because there's cohesion in the team and everybody works well together? Is it because nobody's slit somebody else's throat along the way? What are your tools of measurement? How do you mark the path as a leader and go, yep, I must be doing the right thing? I have all these raving fans, all of these people who follow me. Is it your Twitter account or your LinkedIn or your Facebook or your Instagram account? How many followers you have? I was on a call with someone the other day, and they said, if you just do these things, if you post on a regular basis, if you have regular people who are watching your views, if you're doing the same thing consistently, within about 6 months, you'll have 100,000 followers on your Facebook blog. And I went, Okay, but I guess I'm not doing something right, because I'm about 5,000 right now, and I've been doing this for 4 years, and I do it every day, Monday through Friday. So I guess I'm doing something wrong. If your measurement is the quantity of people who follow you, then there's probably some truth to that. But if your measurement is the fact that on a regular basis I get Facebook messages and I get text messages and I get long conversations with people who are not even on this continent, asking questions about mentorship and about leadership and about how to be developed and how to grow in this area, and deep psychological and spiritual questions about the quality of their life and the relationships around them. And honestly, if I'm going to invest in people, I'd much rather, as John Maxwell said, I'd rather have 1,000 followers who lead 1,000 followers who lead 1,000 followers than to have 100,000 followers who scatter like cockroaches when I die. So what would you call a raving fan in your leadership? I think there are a couple of markers that I look at, and in all the study that I've done around leadership, I think when you have earned trust, when you've built a relationship with people where they trust you to ask for that advice, when they trust you to call you their mentor, to call on you for the advice that they need in their life, that earned trust, I think that's one factor. I also think that another factor is that loyalty that comes from knowing that you've got their best intent at heart. You've got their well-being. You genuinely care about them. John Maxwell says, no one cares how much you know until they know how much you care. He also says, reach for a heart before you reach for a hand. If your investment in somebody's life is about getting service from them rather than giving service to them, then you're going to take advantage of them and abuse them. So I would say my two markers are that earned trust, that they can call me and say, that's my mentor. And it also means that they genuinely believe that I genuinely care about them. I think in my relationships that indicates to me a raving fan. Not that they're yay and a million likes on Facebook. That's not the point. The point is that they give me permission and opportunity to deeply engage in their life. That to me is a raving fan as a leader. Love to know your feedback on it. How do you know that you've been effective as a leader, that you're gaining the ground you want to gain, that you're making the impact that you want to make? Please leave your comments. Leave them on Facebook, LinkedIn, go to the website, leave them right there on jlaurennorris.com/podcast. It'll take you to the entire series of all of these videos, and I would love to have your engagement. If you'd rather listen just to audio, you can find that on Spotify, Apple, Google, it's everywhere. But I'd love to have your feedback on it. I'm J. Loren Norris with Leading Leaders Podcast for Tell It Like It Is TV. Have a blessed day. Leadership team. If attitude is going to have a deep impact on your business and bottom line, make it a positive attitude with a positive impact. Visit jlaurennorris.com/attitude hack